Good morning. We'll get started at the top of your yoga mat. And then you can just have a moment to stretch. Stand tall, maybe squeeze your buns. Notice your fingertips. And then go ahead and move toward a forward fold with soft knees, very soft knees. And allow your head to just relax from the base of your neck to that part of the head where you have the little bump on the back of the head. And I invite you to just take a few deep breaths here, noticing the way your abdomen moves, and especially when it's in contact with your thighs. The breath starts to move a little bit more out to the sides instead of just forward. And then grip the mat with your big toes and spread your pinky toes so far apart they begin to root down to the ground as well. And allow the weight in your feet to just shift back towards your heels. Your toes might start to try to lift up, but keep them connected. And then shift your weight forward towards your toes, where you almost lift up onto your tiptoes, but not quite. And then again, shift back toward your heels and shift forward. And then relax your head and your neck again if you lifted it up to look at your toes like I did. And press your feet apart, just gently, gently. Hamstrings are tight in the morning. Keep the feet active and connected. Just a gentle activation of feet pressing apart. As the feet press apart, the hip points will naturally lift up toward the ceiling a little bit more. One more full breath in here. And then exhale. Bend your knees deeply till you lower all the way to the ground. And I meant to go toward tabletop, not onto the butt. Happy Thursday morning. Fingers spread wide. And create that buoyancy of the hands, of the center of the palm, by just gathering all your fingers in toward the very center of the palm. Thumbs too. And then tops of your feet press down into the mat. All 10 toes kind of spread out wide. You may need to walk your knees back just a teeny bit more. And then really actively press the tops of your feet down. Press the ground away from you so much you might start to feel a little bit of a stretch around the tops of the shoulders. And then bend your elbows a little bit. Wrap your elbows back so your elbows point towards the back of the mat. Keep that level of activity and straighten the arms. Chin draws in toward your throat. Reach forward through the top of your head. Breathe in. And then exhale, lower both elbows down to the ground, keeping them in line with your shoulders. They're going to want to flare out, but keep them in line with your wrists, with your shoulders. And then it's as if your elbows are squeezing a block in between them, but there's no block there. So they don't go way in, but there's this activation of your biceps and muscles around the outer upper shoulders. And then lift your hands right back up, elbows back up, I mean. And just do that a few more times, like you're holding the block in between the elbows. So your hands and your elbows are magnetized towards one another. Keep pressing the tops of your feet down. Breathe in, lift right back up. And exhale, lower down. Magnetize your legs towards one another as well as you press the tops of your feet down. So we start to get that lower abdomen to fire up. So it's like your knees are squeezing. And just twice more here. Lift and lower the elbows. If you keep wanting to look forward, look down. Back of the neck spacious. And then the next time you come back down onto your elbows, stay there. If your shoulders feel especially tight this morning, you can always press your palms together instead of hands down onto the mat. And then magnetize your hands and your elbows towards one another. Tuck your toes under. Lift your knees up. Dolphin down dog. Happy Thursday morning to you. Look towards your toes and maybe just pedal the legs out a little bit. Keep magnetizing the hands and the elbows. And as you squeeze them toward one another, it's also as if you're pressing the ground away from you so your chest moves back towards your feet. Breathe in and breathe out. And then both knees lower right back down to the ground. Come up onto your hands. Toes tuck under, hips lift up and back, down dog. And then just tiptoe, footstep by footstep. As you land the toes down, press the whole heel down and maybe soften your knees if you need to. Just stretch the back of the shins. Next footsteps forward, toes first, then the heel plants, knee softly bends, and all the way toward the top of your mat. Feeling the foot set down from the toes to the heel. And then once you're to the top, breathe in, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, lift up your arms. And exhale, right knee lifts, both hands come down toward your heart. Stabilize that left leg, big toe grips the floor, left knee dials out so weight presses into your outer heel. Cinch in the waist. And even though your legs are in two different spots, it's kind of like the inner thighs are trying to squeeze together here as that left knee dials outward. And then press your hands and your foot forward. Keep the core squeezed in tightly. And then you're going to start to hinge forward from the hips. Arms and legs move together down toward the ground. Press strongly into that left foot so we can keep the right foot lifted without bending the knee. And sweep that right foot and both arms back. And then lift your chest. Lift that right leg back behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Rotate your thumbs outward. Airplane pose. Breathe in. And then exhale, both your hands and your foot lower down to the ground at the same time. Foot takes a big step back. Pick the left foot up. Hug your knee in close. Lengthen the back of your neck again. Hug the knee in so tightly. Breathe in. Left leg all the way up and back. And here, you have the option to do this with your right elbow down on the ground. But it's that same level of activity. Hands and elbows squeezing a little bit toward one another so our shoulders are stable. Full inhale. Relax the neck a little. Squeeze the hands. And then as you exhale, left knee moves in toward your chest. And you can do this with both hands up, both elbows up, in down dog if you need. Left leg up and back. Exhale, knee into chest. Cinch in your core tightly. Hug the knee in close. One more time, up and back. Pay attention to the hands. Magnetize them. Press the ground away from you with that right elbow especially. And then last time, knee into chest. Your weight will shift forward a little bit. And then up and back. And then lift right back up onto your right hand. Breathe in. Exhale. Left knee lowers down to the ground behind the left wrist. Left foot swings out to the left as you lift your right arm up over your ear and your right leg back. Cinch in the waist so your tailbone doesn't start to stick out way behind you. And get that right foot to press straight out back behind you. So it's kind of in line with the hip. Bring your right ribs a little bit closer to your right hip with the strength of the side body. Full inhale. And then exhale, elbow to knee. Or reach them toward one another. Maybe they touch. If they touch, push them for a moment. And then inhale, reach out long. Squeeze your butt. Squeeze that right side. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. And then exhale. Step the right foot to the top of the mat. Left foot rotates back. And then right hand lands to the inside of the right foot. Scooch the left knee back a little tiny bit. Create the little buoyancy around your hands so you're not dumping into your wrists. Bend the left knee. Squeeze your heel in close. And close might not look like all that close. Right knee presses into your right arm, and your arm creates resistance back. With your next exhale, maybe squeeze the heel in a little closer. With the legs a little more active, you won't sink down close to the floor, but we'll get a good, healthy stretch. Breathe in and breathe out. And then lower the toes back down toward the ground, lift the knee. Begin to lift both hands up and step your left foot to the top of the mat. Both arms lift all the way up. Squeeze your buns at the top, breathe in. And then exhale, both hands to your heart, left foot lifts up. Pause a moment to stand on that right leg. Cinch in the core. Notice the big toe gripping the floor. Spread the pinky toe way out so that right knee dials out. And then it's as if your inner thighs, identify where your inner thighs are. It's like they're trying to squeeze toward one another and back in space a little bit. If your shoulders rounded forward while you're exploring that, lift the heart a little, draw the shoulders back, squeeze them together. And then press your foot and your hands forward. Full inhale. And then exhale, slow motion. They move together as you hinge from the hip. Hovering that left foot just barely above the ground. And then sweep the arms and the leg up and back. Core squeezes, chest lifts, shoulder blades squeeze behind you. Maybe you point the left toes if you'd like. Breathe in. And then exhale. Explore landing your hands and your feet down to the ground together as you take the step back. Ooh, I didn't that time. Pick your right foot up, hug it in close. Core squeezes, squeezes. Buoyancy around your hands, around the center of the palm. Right leg all the way up and back. Magnetize the hands towards one another, the elbows toward one another, and keep that stability if you choose to lower the left elbow down to the mat. And again, we're focusing on the hands squeezing toward one another. So you notice what the shoulders do. You can relax them for a moment and then find that squeeze. The shoulders wrap outward and hug close to the rib cage. And then as you exhale, knee squeezes into your chest. Press the ground firmly away from you. Inhale, leg up and back. Exhale, knee into chest. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, knee into chest. Last one. Knee into chest. And then lift back up onto both hands, right leg up and back. And then right knee down to the ground. Foot swings out as your left leg and your left arm reach out long. Arm up over your ear. Press out through the left heel. Cinch in the core. Ribs move a little closer to the hip. Breathe in. Exhale, elbow to knee. toward knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, core squeezes, bring them toward one another. Maybe they touch. And then reach. And then last one, elbow to knee. And reach. It's funny how things like this can feel a little different on each side. Step the left foot all the way to the top of the mat. Rotate your back foot in, tuck the toes under, lift the knee. And then as you lift both hands together, step your right foot forward. Arms lift up, breathe in. And then exhale, bring your hands right back down to the mat because we skipped the most important part. Right foot steps back, knee lowers down. Both hands can be to the inside of your left foot. And there it is. Bend your right knee. Flex your foot. Pull your heel in towards your buns as you really actively press the left knee into your left arm. And your left arm pushes back a little bit. Breathe here. Heel squeezes in towards your buns. And then relax your foot down. Pick the knee up. Cinch in the core as your hands lift. Right foot steps to the top of the mat, both arms up. And then bring both hands just behind your head, kind of toward the base of the skull. Notice where you'd like your feet to be underneath you. Elbows reach back in space a little bit so the chest, the heart opens up. And as you breathe here, it's as if you're breathing with awareness of the space where your hands are resting. Like you're breathing into that area. As if the breath or the life force is just filling the space under your hands. Notice your feet rooted down beneath you. And then elbows reach back a teeny bit more. Lift your heart. And then release your fingers out to the sides and then all the way up. Exhale, forward fold, soft knees. Inhale, halfway lift up. And then fold right back down. And then rise all the way up. Arms lift. One last time, standing tall. Squeeze your buns at the top. And bring your hands down to your heart. Thank you, wonderful friends, for joining me this morning.